All right, welcome back to another EV Hangout. I'm your host along with Talik at the EV Hangout here. We got a great round table of people bringing it in for a discussion and a recap of the Vista Rod Run. But this is action-packed. We got a lot of cool stuff going on. So we got Kevin from the EVLC and EV Riders. Yep. And we got Doug. He's part of the EV Riders. He likes to blow up DC motors. And then we got Brandon Watt from the Switch Lab Vehicles. How you doing? All right.
Doing good. Thank you for having me, Ron. Appreciate it.
Nice. We got Carter and I think Matt from EV Drive, but also Big Orange Cable. How you doing?
Yeah, doing well.
Doing good.
All right. And they got a cool vehicle. Why don't you show your vehicle for a sec? Give us a preview. What is that?
Oh,
It's an aerial nomad.
Uh-huh.
You know, it's like an Atom, but off-road.
I didn't even know that existed.
Yeah, they are making a new one too.
You know that thing it's like a Lotus 7. It doesn't weigh anything, but it's got a ton of power.
Yeah, this one's about 400 horsepower, weighs about 1,700 pounds.
That's Colin Chapman right there.
And off-road.
And I actually forgot to mention to Brandon that I'm a huge Colin Chapman Lotus 7 fan. And I feel like the Switch Lab vehicle is kind of like a Lotus 7.
Yeah, I would agree with that, Ron. That's a good observation.
It's like if a Volkswagen Bug, a Lotus 7, and a motorcycle had a baby together.
You know what? That's what the original owner had envisioned, Ron, that exact equation.
Mhm. Yeah, but it came
It makes
true.
sense. The Volkswagen parts are available. The construction of a Lotus 7 is like understandable and doable. And then it's a wide open platform for so that education can thrive and you can really see what's going on. Sheet metal kind of gets in the way when you have a sheet metal car,
Mhm.
Okay, cool. And then we got the excitable and legendary Tom Summers in the house. He's got a cool project that he worked on years ago. You want to show us the bus real quick? Just give us a 1 minute or quick preview. What is that?
This is a replica of the light, the Woodstock bus that was at the original Woodstock in 1969, done by Dr. Robert Hieronymus, who has affiliated himself with Volkswagen once again to do the artwork on the ID Buzz wraps, and also a line of swag with Volkswagen of America. That's really the only connection it has with the electric vehicles but it was a movie that we made for the Woodstock 50 back in 2019. Basically, the premise is that they were looking for the original Woodstock bus and failing to find it. We provided a suitable replica for the original artwork and the original artist to recreate it, and he assembled a team of young artists to grid the project and recreate this iconic bus. The light bus was the photograph for Woodstock that Associated Press took in 1969 that kind of went viral. That their version of viral back then in those days for the Woodstock phenomenon. But anyway, I've progressed somewhat since the 60s, and we're now doing full-on electric vehicles, right, you guys?
Yeah. Now speaking of electric vehicles, what I want to talk about tonight was the revival of the bus that we worked on from last year. And part of the revival was that we had to the summer bus build of 2023. We had to revive it because if you can read this label, warranty is voided, and I didn't spell warranty correctly. And yeah. So what happened was the bus, we put it together last year, but this year we wanted to get it to a show, and we brought it to the Vista Rod Run. And so, I was in California recently, and we put an effort into putting it all back together. And what we have here is we went to the Vista Rod Run, and I've got the photos for that. So this is the bus right here, this yellow bus, if you guys are familiar with. And we had something called Electric Avenue, which was awesome. And it's all electric parking lot here. So it's basically, we had starting on the left there. I don't have a good overview photo, but I do have a video. So starting on the left there, we had Mark Brem's 914, two of them. And then we had we had a 914 that I got a ride in back in probably about 15 years ago. And it was AC at the time. We also had, we're going to go into it. We had EV West had their crazy buggy with the Tesla Model S drive unit. And then Revolt Systems has the divorced longitudinal Tesla drive unit. And then we had the bus.
That one's the normal Revolt motor where it's straight in like a LS swap. The divorced one is in the cord.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fair enough. Oh, I see.
But the inverter is separated from the motor, isn't it?
It's slightly offset, but it's still
okay.
It's directly attached. Yeah.
Okay.
There we go.
Oh, there's Doug showing his Sparrow.
I just wanted to prove to everybody that it isn't actually vaporware. It exists.
It's now a two-wheeler.
I worked my butt off all Saturday to get the new motor in. There's the new motor. And I put it all together and the belt tore. That's why I couldn't make it to the Vista Rod Run. So I'll shut up now. But,
no, it's Doug.
Oh,
I'm sorry, I forgot to give you the intro. That's cool. I mean, it's kind of weird looking. They made fun of it in a couple of movies, but the thing is, the body work is one part of the equation, but it's kind of cool having a little three-wheeler that you can cruise around on. And it was DC, right?
Yeah, it's DC. Yeah.
Is it one passenger or two? Can you fit two people in there?
Single seater.
Single seater. Okay.
Is it a hatchback? Is that like a little window?
There's a door. That's a door right there. That
The
opens.
hatchback, baby.
That's the emergency escape hatch in case you roll over.
No. So that's it. Anyway, it's real. It exists. I apologize.
No.
You
who
pushed hard to get it to the show, and we appreciate your effort there. And you almost made it, but it's got something that looks like a timing belt. That is the drive belt on this thing. You'd have a normal, like a cam belt.
It's a tooth belt. It's like 36 millimeters wide and 1,800 millimeters long. And it's an 8 millimeter pitch on the tooth. And it broke. It tore when I was trying to get it back on. So it is what it is.
Now there's another company that is now reviving it. Is that right?
There was Myers Motors. They put out another 25 or something under the name NMG, No More Gas. Dana Myers is still very active. He has a 4-wheel electric car idea that he's pushing. I just talked to him a couple days ago, and he wants to expand. Maybe I'm moving to Manila in the Philippines, and he wants to expand there. So that's
Okay. All right.
possibility. And speaking of the Philippines, I need to get a hold of that company you did last week.
Oh yeah. That's Legacy. They're working on something in the Philippines.
Yeah.
That's right.
So if you'd stick around or maybe email me or something, how to get hold of them.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. And this is the original right here. If you could see this.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. We should. Tom has his hand up, but I'd like to get back to the Electric Avenue.
Yeah, let's get over it. All right. So
I just got home and walked in the house. That's why.
Yeah.
oh, no problem at all. So yeah, Electric Avenue was great. It was such a good time, and we were side by side with some of the cool, fun Southern California players in the biz. I had a great time there, and it was also good to see.
To be clear, this was like a it was a rod run show. It was for gas powered normal cars and classics and things like that. And I arranged for Electric Avenue the last 2 years in a row to showcase classic cars converted to EVs and how they could still be fun and utilitarian and keep them going, and offering electrification as one of the possible hot rod routes. We like gas. We like making noise still. We like burning up tires. Sometimes we do it electrically and sometimes we do it with gas.
Yeah, hot rodding 2.0, as Eddie from Revolt says. Hot rodding 2.0.
Yep.
Totally. So
And
this
at
is
the
a
end of
video.
our aisle there too, we showed a Tesla motor outside of the car running and how that all works. So how you can take a Tesla motor from a scrapped car and convince it to run inside something else, and really open the public's eyes to what is possible with this sort of technology.
Yeah. And this quick video does like an overview. And what's kind of fun is, you have a lot of gas people mixed up with the EV people, like we talked about. One of the things that I saw was that there was a lot of custom paint jobs, and I got to meet Hot Dog, the custom painter. And that was like such a treat. And I don't know if this is his work, but there was so many awesome vehicles that had like incredible details, like this here, like engine turned with like pinstriping, and then also like a paint on, like a clear coat on top with a tone to it. Like it's just ridiculous paint jobs.
Yeah, Hot
like
Dog
this,
did the paint job for the Mustang.
wow. See,
The
that
stripes
is
on the
awesome.
Mustang.
Yeah, this was cool. Metal flake and all kinds of stuff. So like the paint job alone on some of these cars was like crazy. And then there's some unique stuff like this here. I think it's called a Chevy Love. And this was I think this was like a partnership import with Toyota, maybe. I'm not sure. Yeah. Okay. And there was some great stuff there. One of the vehicles we had there, right, was the Torque. Kevin, you want to talk about this a unique situation?
Yeah, so I rescued this Torque from Chris Anthony, who was the founder of this company, Epic, and made the Torque, as well as the founder of Aptera. This is serial number 1 car that was sitting languishing in his garage in pieces. And he had told me that we'll get it working again, do it on a consignment and I'll sell it for him. 90% of the batteries are probably fine. You probably have to replace a few modules here and there. Well, it turned out that 90% of the batteries were shot in this thing. The old Voltronics lithium iron phosphate bricks, and they were stuffed in every nook and cranny of this car. And the old Flux BMS that was in here, along with just plain old-fashioned neglect, had ruined all of these battery modules. So I pulled them all out, put Tesla in there instead. It's got 150 volts of Tesla modules in there down the tunnel, and it's been running now for about, I took it to the Rod Run last year, so I mean, it's been on the road again for a year. But my goal all along was to flip this and sell it quickly. Quickly went out the window when I had to replace all the battery modules, and then do other car stuff like CV joints were blown and it was slinging grease everywhere, and just reassembly and just refurbishment. So yes, it made it again. Ron got his first ride in this thing while he was in town now.
Yeah, I can tell you, it's a blast. Like, it is so fun driving in this thing. And I got to drive it, dude. It's torquey, it's fast, and it holds the corner. Kevin scared the shit out of me, and we went around a corner, and it did not roll or budge. It didn't squiggle, nothing. It just went around. And even everyone was asking questions at every stoplight. It was pretty cool.
Yeah. It's hard to go. It's hard to get around undetected, even though you're making no noise. Everybody stops and asks you questions about this thing.
Yeah, it was good. And
I think I finally have a buyer lined up. We're just trying to work out the details, but I may actually.
Brady,
have a
you had
box.
some questions about this?
No, I was just curious. Is it like a rod? Like is it a PM motor?
It's got a DC motor in it. It's I think it's the 9-inch DC motor. Some of them did come with 11s, but I believe this is a 9. It's got a 1400 amp, 260 volt controller in there, which is probably overkill for this.
Yeah,
motor,
a little
but,
bit. That's cool. That is a really cool vehicle. And so that's the
Yeah.
Aptera owner moved on to the Aptera idea. This was like his baby.
Yeah, this was their original concept, was an electric, super quick, 3-wheeled track car. You know, it's got racing seat belts in it, and you know, it's all down to business with no frills. And then later, you know, they've pivoted to the Aptera car, which is more of the eco-friendly
Commuter can
long-distance
drive it whenever.
commuter car. That probably still moves out pretty well, but
Oh yeah, it does. I've ridden in both of them.
oh yeah, you got the Alpha and the Gamma.
So,
Ultimately, didn't he end up making only 2 of them?
Of the Torque, I think there's probably 5 of them that got made.
Oh,
I don't know where the rest of them are, but somebody actually who was searching these things down, who was trying to get the Vanderhall Edison, but now they're not selling them in this country, which is another funky 3-wheeled vehicle.
there were
yeah.
2 Vanderhalls at the Rod Run.
Yeah, and I actually coincidentally got a video of them to compare. So they're narrower, they're a lot more like resto mod looking. They're cool. But this thing's cooler, in my opinion. This is more Batmobile looking. Those are more vintage Morgan looking.
Yeah, that's cool. Here's the Vanderhall's got a lot of stuff going on now.
Yeah, now they got this Brawley. This is like 100, and I don't even think they're selling them yet, but it's going to be $100 and some $1,000.
Mm-hmm. And
most of these are gas powered, almost all of them, except for the Edison.
Nah. We also got Alex in the house. He's my neighbor. And
see the 3D printing guy?
Yes, that's right.
Good memory.
You're famous. Yeah, this
Nice.
is Brandon Switch Lab. We got Kevin, who works on Harleys and electric cars. Talik covers all the EV scene. We got Doug. He's doing DC motor repair. Carter and Matthew are from EV Drive. Dude, they do like crazy horsepower situations, and they sell cables and all kinds of solutions for EVs. Tom Summers, the excitable Tom Summers, he's kind of like a legend. He's the how do you say it, Tom? The abuelo. He's the EV grandpa.
Yeah. I was going to say earlier that Doug was talking about Myers. I believe he's the son of the legendary, much more legendary than any other of us, Bruce Myers and the Myers Manx.
No way.
Wow. Yeah. I'm kidding.
Yeah.
Oh, it's that Myers.
Yeah.
I love their new EV con.
Oh yeah, that's cool.
New buggies,
yeah.
Awesome. Yeah.
And Alex does. If you look up Dive Design or 3D Pets, and it is really incredible what they're working.
Don't get off track. This is about you guys, really.
No, but it's so cool because I want to print a car with you. So this is a preview of things to
print
come.
a car? That would be cool.
We don't really have small scale printers. Our biggest machine can print 10 feet long by 10 feet tall by 5 feet wide.
Could you print like a vehicle, like a scale model in plastic?
Oh yeah, definitely. This is our other company.
I might be hitting you up, Ron.
Dude.
I want something big.
Dude, that's what I'm talking about. So he's got a lot of stuff going on with furniture and whatnot, and Dive Design, and let's see, how do I get to that? So he's
this is awesome.
I think you're being like a little bit like, oh, whatever. No, we're doing a car. If I'm not doing a car, then someone is. It's happening. That's it.
All right.
Hold on, let's find Dive Design. Oh, here we go. All right, if you guys can see this is the latest. What?
That's a big reception desk.
Whoa. What is that?
It's
being painted.
Yeah.
Dude, look at that.
Yeah, that was a neat feet long.
That's crazy
Big screen.
looking.
It's 10
On the
feet
big
long.
screen.
Oh, it's not on the big screen? Oh, I don't know how to do that. Okay. Let's see. There's also furniture.
Mhm.
And this is kind of the machine, the robot happening. What was it? I think there was a way to. Okay.
I don't know.
Yeah, I don't know either. Furniture design. They got basically like a robot arm with a 3D printing head. It's insane. So we're going to do a land speed record car. That's the goal. Maybe. I don't know.
Dude, that would be sick.
Right? I
What materials can you
know.
print in? Can you do metal printing, or is this just plastic?
No, we only do polymers. Don't do any metal. Dude, if you could blow local motors out of the water, that would be crazy.
Bro, I'm telling you, this might be the thing.
What is everyone's opinion on them? I'm just curious.
I mean, aren't they dead or?
Yeah, no, they are long dead.
It
Yeah,
was
I
an
think they're
idea. I don't think they focused. I think they bounced around too much. Probably is my opinion. I don't know what other people think.
So Dive is our parent company, and everything that we do is rooted in 3D printing. So our one company builds prosthetics and wheelchairs for animals. The other one builds furniture. And so everything's kind of rooted in that 3D printing nature. But we have purposeful brands that we actually do things with rather than like the little tchotchkes and whatnot that people print.
Mm-hmm. And you did this in a show in LA recently, right?
This was Detroit. This was the Detroit show that we did where we did this furniture.
Cool. I like how you got next project.
Yeah, we want to keep you wrapped up.
Yeah, that's great.
Yeah, we do a lot of fun stuff. If you guys ever need any like large format printing done, definitely let us know. We do a lot of really cool one-off concepts that are huge.
Nice.
What
Dude,
I've been
Well,
doing
I've
with
been
this
just seeing with
lately is,
motor
like,
mounting. You can get 3D printed motors. You can just print motors out, and that's how people can figure out which one they want to buy. Just have
There's
analogs.
Oh
As far as
the block,
mock-up,
the block
yeah.
modeling.
Yeah, because the thing is, you got to carry it. It's
Yeah.
kind of like imagine a V8, but it's foam.
Yeah.
I think they do.
No,
Sell
they
that.
do that. They do that
Yeah.
for the V8, for the small blocks. They do it for the LSs. Yeah,
But we
definitely.
need it for electric motors.
They don't do that.
Not yet.
Really?
It's all new,
That's all you. You could break in.
dude.
Right,
Yeah,
you should be
so-
like having a rental company because you don't need this thing forever. I need this motor for
Right.
like 2
Yeah,
weeks,
you're right.
so I
You're
can,
right. It's a good idea.
yeah, so I could just
I'm
mock something
surprised
up
they don't do that.
and probably rent it for $200 for 2 weeks.
brand new, dude. It's like the Wild West.
Pretty neat.
Yeah.
It's pretty neat.
So we're giving
What
them
I've done with a
ideas.
lot of this 3D printing stuff is mundane stuff. It's like an outlet cover. I needed an outlet cover, but I can get one that's exactly what I want. But then I can personalize it and put my name on it, or plug stuff.
Oh.
in.
Yeah, I think for us that we realized a year or so ago that it was really becoming a race to the bottom with the smaller scale stuff. And with our design background, we realized that if we wanted to continue to grow the company, we had to go big. And so that was really the big, the big push for the large format stuff. So.
Right, that's what nobody else is doing, and that's there's definitely
Right. We did a lot of cool stuff. We did stuff for Boston Dynamics with a spot robot dog. We've done stuff with Jeep to do like concept doors and stuff like that. But we wanted to go bigger than that. So it's been a fun ride. Anyway, listen, I hate to steal the show. I just wanted to make sure you're alive. It's good to see you, buddy.
I'm back.
All right, good. Nice meeting everyone. See you guys.
All right.
All
I'll
right.
be here tomorrow night. Thank you. All right. See you. Okay, cool. Yeah, that's Alex next door. Yeah, he's got some good ideas too. He's got some great stuff. Tom, go ahead.
Yeah, I just want to say while we're on the subject that a new video just came out today from Ricky and Fully Charged about Chris, Anthony, and Aptera about how they are putting their parts together. It's not 3D printing. It's carbon fiber molding with side A and side B. It's a really, really informative video for you guys that are following Aptera's saga.
Okay. All right. That's cool.
Can you send a link to that? Can you put it in the thing here?
It's okay. Yeah, I'll try.
Yeah, throw it in there. Aptera update. Here's the update 3 days ago in August. I'll put it on the screen real quick. Yeah, it'd be interesting because it's kind of related to all the EV stuff. Let's see. Here we go.
Totally. So I want to see how they pivoted from, they were doing hub motors.
Hub motors is over. No, hub. That's all. That's what the video is about. They've switched
Yeah.
from hub motors to one single motor in the middle and a completely
Yeah.
different pan. And he shows all of these parts laid out on the floor. And
Oh,
yeah, the Aptera is alive and well. It's just taken
Yeah.
a little bit longer than what everybody thought.
Yeah, there's a lot of on social media and in the comment sections, you find a lot of people going like, "Oh my God, I can't believe you're not doing the hub motors. That's like the main reason I wanted it. You can't get all-wheel drive anymore, blah blah blah." But then in the video, it's really talking about like this is going to make Aptera leaner and meaner and easier to
Yes.
produce and
Yeah.
actually bring the freaking vehicle to market. You know.
Right. So they have to take a step back to take 2 steps forward. So that totally makes sense. And Doug, I hit up Chris already to try to get you one of their scrap hub motors for the Sparrow in case they've got a surplus of test motors now.
I was just gonna say, are they hopefully they're having a fire sale on those things or something.
Yeah, I'm asking him. I did ask him already. He laughed at me, but we'll see what he says.
While we're on the topic of Aptera, Ron, if you want to bring up Polydrop's Instagram page. So Polydrops is the trailer, the travel trailer that has Aptera. It's the part of the pilot program of solar panels on travel trailers. But their prototype, it was like a mock-up for their first release at Expo. But now they have the next generation, the one that's going to be more like what they actually put on the trailers with the actual glossy flat glass or I don't know if it's glass, but it's not gonna be like the bubbly warpy ones that people saw that when it was in my video. But if you go to their Instagram, so right there, that little preview showed you the bubbling up. No, go down one. The preview on that video, you'll see the little kind of warped. That's a prototype panel. But if you go to their Instagram, they have a picture of the new version from Aptera that's going to be coming out for the Polydrops trailers.
Okay, I got it.
Yeah, I think Aptera has a patented process for laminating these the solar cells too. The polycarbonate, which is probably what it is.
Yeah, in my video over there that was just up, he talks about how one of the reasons he went with Aptera. It was that first picture, Ron, by the way. One of the reasons he went with Aptera is because they have one of the highest efficiency per output per square foot. That's one of the reasons they went with Aptera. But you can kind of see that's their new panel with the more flattened glass there. It's a little bit more refined than the prototype.
Cool. Yeah, there's all kinds of exciting stuff coming out. I mean, transportation is opening up. There's more options now. Really cool stuff. You know, what's funny, just to swing it back to the Rod Run, there was a guy there at the Rod Run with a shirt that said anti-EV club, but he was so funny because he came to see us. He wanted to talk to us. So like,
we grilled him.
Are anti-EV. I feel like they put a lot of effort into talking to us about it. So, you know, it's just an option. And I was talking with Tom Summers about the percentage. The Rod Run had, like, we guessed just a really big ballpark. I think it had like 200 cars maybe. And, you know, among those cars, there was, let's say 10 EVs. So, you know, that's like 5%. So, I mean, that's a pretty good amount compared to, you know, 0 of years ago, or maybe just one.
That's huge compared to even Northern California and some of the car
Yeah,
shows.
and lots of interest. Just for perspective, guys, this show has been going for 34 years. It's just a little town between Oceanside and Escondido, but always been kind of below the radar. But I'll tell you what, the car guys come out, and it's a big deal.
Now, the funny thing is, it's a small town, but it has 2 separate supercharger stations.
Yeah.
So the other thing is, you know, 5% is a good showing. However, we are kind of in an epicenter of the electric conversion world. It's kind of like craft beer. You know, there's a lot of craft beer in San Diego, and there's a lot of craft electric vehicles here in San Diego.
I'd like to point something worth the group's time, if you got a minute.
Go for it.
I found a really interesting little piece of equipment. It's where is it? There it is. It's a Chinese battery charger. I paid, they're going for about 250. I paid 220 for it. And this particular one is 0 to 60 volts. They sell them in 0 to 120 volts at 50 amps, 60 volts, 50 amps.
Oh, that's a lot.
Yeah.
That's a
And-
lot. Because usually if you get the 60 volt off of Amazon and it's about $100, it'll drop it down to 5 amps. If you're doing 50 amps and 60 volts, that's a pretty good amount.
Well, I've been using them. I'm comparing them to Elcons where you got a programming and everything, and just right here you can dial in. You can dial in what you want, your voltages. So, like if you want to set it at 25 point whatever, I don't know if you can see that there, but you can set your voltage whatever you want. So I've been using them on my Tesla packs. I got 5 Tesla packs that came out of the El Camino, and I've been capacity testing them. And Michael's website using his voltages at 19.8 to 25.2. So I charged them to 25.2, then discharged them to 19.8, and then recharged them to 25.2. And the capacities he's saying are 232. I've been getting 193, 92, 195. So a Tesla pack may not be as much as Tesla. So, but these things are like bucks compared to. I had Elcon quote me $1,350 for one of their 3 kW 60 volt chargers, and they're real simple to use. They're very intuitive. The instructions come in Chinese, but look, if you look right at the very bottom, see where it says output stop there, right? I don't know if you can read that, but when you dial it, it gives you a little subtitle in English.
Nice.
And it's a really, really cool little charger for $200.
That is pretty good. Yeah, that's pretty good.
One more piece of it. I have a whole lab here. I don't know if you can see it, but I have dischargers and I have battery testers. They'll both charge and discharge. There's a voltage limit on them, but I have 10 of those, so I can do 10 of those. I can do 10, 3.2 volt, 4.0 volt cells at a time. And
you got BMSs on those Tesla modules, right?
I do not. No, I just these are the ones that came out of the and I just discharge them and charge them just to capacity test them. So
nice.
Anyway, yeah, that's
the BMS.
If you're bringing them up and down, Doug, you probably should have a BMS on there to see what's happening.
Well, I just don't have a way to do that right now.
I feel like a BMS. I'm like a BMS mother. I'm like, you should use a BMS.
Yeah, well, I ran the Volkswagen for 10 years with no BMS, and I lost 3 or 4 cells out of 38. So I'm mixed on it. I just turned this other one. Anyway, they're like $250 or less. Shop around on AliExpress.
I have
go
ahead.
One more thing.
Wait, Doug, take a break. Let someone go ahead. Kev's got a comment.
I have a Haltech BMS that's adapted.
Yeah, like I'll ship you a BMS. You need one.
Okay. He's got Haltechs in there too. I know. Just because if one cell is much higher than the others, and you're just blasting it with power, then
I've got
like you could have a fire if you're not watching the cells.
Well, I got like 9 of those Haltechs. I don't know how to the Tesla module.
Okay. Yeah, I can help you with that. I have it all because that's what I was using at EVLC to monitor them when I was charging them up. So it's the same BMSs that you're the one that recommended them to me. So one more
thing about these guys, I just remembered. I plugged them in and they just started popping the GFI left and right. They just would not. And
power turned down.
No, I talked to their engineer and he got right back to me within a couple hours a day, and he said remove the ground, the ground prong. And I talked to Herman about it, and he said, yeah, go ahead. I've seen that before. So I did. And what I didn't remove the ground prong. I got those 3-2s. You buy at Home Desperate for a couple bucks, and they've been working great.
You just gave Carter a heart attack, by the way.
Okay. Well, I know the importance of ground, et cetera, but you know, like I said, Herman is a electrician, and he said, "Go ahead and do it." So.
Don't cross the streams. Egon said that would be bad.
Anyway, it's just a totally bitchin' little charger, you know.
All right, I like it.
You buy five of these things for the price of one Elcon.
All right, very cool.
So
Go ahead, Kevin. You want to give us a little overview of the Haltech BMS, and then we're going to get back onto the Vista Run and get back
Well,
on
it was
track.
just that this is what we used at EVLC rather for balancing these Tesla modules. So I had 4 of them hooked up at one time. It's 6 total, so I would do 4, and then the other 4. Well, I would do 4, and then the middle 2 were overlapping. But I'd do 4 at a time and balance them out. So with the 24 channel Haltech, it was an active balancer, so it actually shuttled power energy, I would say, from the higher cells to the lower cells at a maximum of 4 amps. So it was a quick way to get them all balanced before we stuck them into the bus.
Wait, so when you mean shuttle, like it was moving power from the ones that were really high to the ones that were lower, not the BMS getting power from the charger?
Right.
Oh, so I'm guessing that just speeds it up by a magnitude at that point, right?
Right. And because it's 4 amps too. If you have like
Yeah.
my Ziva balancer, it'll do like, it'll do a few watts and that's it. It's because it's just burning off the excess power. This actually takes power from the high, puts it into the low, and 4 amps. So yes, it does a much faster job of it. And especially, I don't really trust these BMSs as much as a Ziva or a Orion or dilithium, but for bench testing, it worked out pretty good for me. So I made the harnesses that Doug needs for his testing. So I'd be glad to share them with you.
I've got 9 of those little Haltech NA chargers.
Yeah.
They've just been performing flawlessly. I have one of them balancing my house bank at 4 amps all the time.
Oh, okay.
And it's doing fine. So, they're not Bluetooth or anything. Actually, they are Bluetooth, but they are Apple Bluetooth, and you can't really hook them in. I mean, I've tried the, what do you call it, Blue Stacks or whatever. I can't get it to talk to my PC. So,
yeah, I can hook you up. Once I recover from this Vista Rod Run, I can spend a couple hours there.
And can you look at the sounds? Does it talk to a computer or a Bluetooth, you said?
it talks to my iPhone.
Yeah, look at the there's one that's in a black case. If you scroll down,
This
there's
one?
a whole bunch of different stuff.
Okay, cool.
Off track, but
All right, no, it's okay. That's the whole discussion. So let's shift over to Carter and Matthew, and maybe you guys could give us a little tour of this aerial off-road monster.
Yeah, sure. So I guess there's a little bit of background. So I do the cable stuff, but I also I've got a company that does low voltage wire harness design and some system level design stuff. Matt is over at X Consulting and X Controls now. He does a lot of our VCU programming and I don't know, CAN bus magic and
custom controllers.
Yeah, all sorts of stuff. We share a shop with another company called Studio Alloy that did a lot of the mechanical design on this, does a lot of prototyping and fabrication stuff. So we all share a building, and we share a building with EV Drive as well. So we're all sort of like in this little EV development space. We've kind of been working on projects like this for a while, but this one is particularly cool because it's, for one, we can talk about it, which is not common in the stuff that we do. And it was built for Cascadia Motion as a demonstrator.
Dude, it's awesome looking. It's so crazy. I'm like terrified.
Yeah, we can do a little walk around. We'll try the.
Yeah, let's try it. And this space you're talking about sounds like an EV dream. This is great. You guys collaborate a lot. You're up in Portland.
Yep. So this is I don't know what year it is. Aerial Nomad number 1. So it has basically a full suite of Cascadia Motion and AEM stuff. So I guess. So we've got, a 5-inch AEM dash for the driver, 7-inch dash for the passenger. Matt did the thing, so we can turn the display on. So we've got, programmable display. It's got, all the indicators for turn signals and everything. But the business end, the really cool thing is in the back here. So we've got an 800-volt battery pack made out of Cascadia Motion mini modules, and we have one of their new IDM 375 Evo drive units. So it's
375.
Yep, with a silicon carbide inverter. So this is the second one.
Yeah,
this is number 2. So the first one was on their dyno, and I think they sheared some axle stub shafts. But this one doesn't have that problem because we've got big chunky off-road tires. So it's it's sitting where the original motor sat. This car actually never had an engine in it. It was ordered from Aerial, or TMI, who does the aerial assembly in the US, along with a second one. So the other one was built up by Borg Warner. Sorry, we got a noisy shop today.
No, it's okay. It sounds okay because your mic is focused for some reason on you, so it's all good.
Oh, nice. So Borg Warner built up another one of these. They built up one first with Stevcon inverters and Cascadia Motion motors. But this is the second chassis that they bought at the same time. So it was sitting around at Cascadia until they wanted to put a big motor in it and some real power. So
it looks so awesome. Do you guys rip it around yet? I don't see any mud on that thing.
No, so we it's not plated. So driving it too far is not advised. Plus it's Kawasaki green and looks like it's from Mad Max. So definitely draws attention.
Yeah, you're gonna get attention up.
Wow.
But this thing rips.
There.
We limit it to about 75% torque, and that makes it drivable. Yeah.
It's awesome.
I mean, from this angle, it looks kind of like the torque, but with a roll cage. Really, from here, this angle.
Yeah, I mean, it's not a huge vehicle, and it weighs nothing. It weighs 1,700 pounds. So
it's crazy. What's wild is that it's kind of like it's like if the Switch Lab vehicle got angry.
This is literally like what our R&D team we're currently having meetings on is a motorsports version of the Switch Lab because motorsports is coming for EVs. The NASCAR just released their first prototype for the EV. Formula One is now hybrid. Formula E Drift is still struggling to get on board, but they're going to get on board eventually. And so like that vehicle is literally like kind of what I'm aiming for with my team and making educational, get students excited for doing motorsports. That thing is sick.
Wow. Yeah, I mean, there are mixed reviews on Aerial from our team. We had a lot of trouble with parts and Aerial, some of the Aerial stuff in general, but the chassis is really good.
It's designed for gas, right? Is that so? You guys converted it?
Yeah. So it never had a motor in it, but the original ones either came with a Honda K24 or a GM Ecotec engine.
Okay.
So, and the new ones come with, I think, an Ecotec.
So what's your guys' goal with this project? Like that thing is sweet. It needs to be on some dunes.
It was designed as a demonstrator for
So
Cascadia.
it's basically got Cascadia Motion's full catalog in it. So
Oh, so it's like, are you guys taking it to SEMA?
we would like to, but it's
Yeah.
not our vehicle. It's Cascadia's, right? So we're just stewards of it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, got it.
We wanted to bring it
That's
to
great work.
the show in Denver, but we couldn't
Convince them to do it.
couldn't get people to pay for the shipping. So
It's
And
got-
remind people where you're based out of again.
Portland, Oregon.
Portland, Oregon.
So
Well,
we're just-
that's, I was like an 8-hour drive from Switch. I can make it.
Come up.
No,
and visit.
great work,
I mean,
guys. That
honestly,
thing is awesome.
if you're in the area, come up and come visit.
Yeah,
We'll
like
give
I
you-
just
we'll
need
give
to
you a
make your
ride.
car clear, and I can sell it to schools everywhere.
So that sounds like I need to make a trip. I need to hit Switch on the way up to you guys.
Yeah.
Now, let me throw in that there's something crazy on their Instagram that you guys want in a future video. We'll have to explain it a little bit. That would be so awesome. Is this dyno that EV Drive has? And I just think like it's the coolest thing because I want to do a dyno with small engines, gas engine to electric and electric to electric, really just as a teaching tool. I developed the bottom half of it. I just didn't do the dyno part yet, like the stand. And but it's super crazy. So let me pull that up on the screen there. Oh, it's already up there. And this is a wild video here. This is like motor versus motor. Is that like a Lovejoy connector in the middle there?
Sorry, what was that?
Is it like a Lovejoy?
So
Yeah,
Lovejoy
there's two couplers and then a torque sensor in the middle.
Oh, a torque sensor in the middle. Really interesting. Dude, it's crazy. Super awesome. And then we also have, I got the X controls up here. Let me pull that up real quick. And cool.
Paul was making
So what-
some serious jam on those motors
Yeah. Yeah.
last week. I mean, he was pushing 700 Newton meters around.
Whoa. That's
So
awesome.
for that
And
kind
what
of
is-
a dyno, is it not on wheels? Maybe I definitely am not a dyno person, but is it just two motors and one motor just measures the torque?
So one motor we usually put into like a speed mode. So it's trying to have a constant speed, and then we'll drive the other one against it. And then, so one is regenning in speed mode and one is in torque drive mode.
Okay,
we-
so like a gas dyno, I see them like they drive a car under rollers. So this
Yeah.
is different. Okay.
It's an engine dyno,
Yeah,
essentially.
Yeah.
Engine dyno.
So one motor is acting like the roller, right? That's absorbing all the energy. In this case, it's regenning it back into the battery pack. So we're only losing the losses and efficiency.
Yeah. Okay, that's awesome. Got it.
Nice. It's awesome.
So I guess with the
Cool.
torque sensor in the middle, you can also sense what the loss is in all of this because you have one motor that's, causing regen on the other one, but you're going to have some loss in between.
Yeah, and the motors, I mean, are pretty good at estimating their torques, but it's nice to have an absolute truth of what we're actually producing.
Yeah.
And we've done crazy things like using it to fast charge packs. We'll one motor regenning into a pack, one motor driving from another pack, and so we can move power around pretty quick too.
We used it for today for testing high voltage heaters.
Yep, just a good battery pack too.
Oh,
That's
so
cool.
you can dual purpose test your battery pack, your inverters.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Wow.
And Paul would love to talk about this. He's super proud of it. So we just sort of helped.
I wrote all the software.
I wrote all the software.
Yeah, that is like a really good teaching element though for anyone, enthusiast or even
Oh, for sure.
students.
Mm-hmm. Super cool. So, okay. So, so let's see. What else did we not cover? Oh, I would like to show back at the Vista Rod Run. We did have among, in the world of education, there's Switch Lab. There's EV West has a benchtop demonstration done with Mark Weller and EVLC. And then there's also Legacy, I guess EV for You at some point. I don't know. I'm just mentioning all the players. And I've done a bunch of these benches. You do them like for student projects. But this one here at the show was a Tesla drive unit, which is pretty cool. And we kind of went over that real quick. There's Mark Weller. He's a great educator. And then we actually had a gas and go with Snow. He's from Legacy and from Revolt, and he was there. And we're all even though they're competitors, they're standing side by side, admiring each other's work, which was a lot of fun. And it was great to hear all the commentary. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, Snow actually pointed something out, that we have this problem with this cart, the Tesla cart, that it tries to regen so hard after you take your foot off the gas, the motor spins backwards at just as fast an RPM as you just spun it forward. It kind of goes crazy. And,
It goes
right. Yeah. It's you spin it up to 7,000 RPM. Once you take your foot off the gas or hand off the gas, it goes 7,000 RPM in the other direction. It's kind of disconcerting. So
Can you not do the motor controllers? No program in there. So
right. So it's using the T2C by what is it called? I always forget
EV
that company's
Controls?
name. EV Controls. Yeah. What Snow is saying is you need to put it in creep mode, and it'll get rid of that aggressive regen on that. It does something else. So we're going to try it. Mark said he didn't get a chance yet, but yeah, it's just a parameter in the T2C.
And by the way, if you're checking out Revolt, Snow is pretty much the one that builds the Revolt motor before they send it out on a crate. He has people helping him, but his main job is to assemble the Revolt motor before it gets sent to you. Also, make sure you follow Gas and Go with Snow on YouTube.
Yeah.
Yep. So here we go. This is the Revolt Systems, Eddie, and they got a lot of cool projects. This is a new project they're working on. It's a Cord from the 36 Cord, and it's going to have a Tesla motor in it with a front-wheel drive system. That's going to be wild.
And that's why the motor is diverse, so that the inverter's divorced, because the inverter's above the motor there. If you can see it there, the motor is lined up with the drive shafts like a Tesla, and then the billet encased inverter is pulled up for show and out of the way.
Mm-hmm. Nice. And we'll bring up Gas and Go. And Talik does a lot of the collaboration with them.
I do most of his editing. So
nice. Which one should we pull up here?
Well, actually, that Easy Rider, that's an electric moped. We just put that up the other day, but that's going to be at EV Fest as well. It's a 45-mile-hour moped that you can pull out and charge the batteries if you live in an apartment. And it's got the big feature is that it leans. It's a 3-wheeler, the back two scissor, so that it can lean, and you can turn into corners pretty tightly. So that's one of the electric. So Snow, he covers everything. He doesn't particularly care if it's gas or electric, as long as it's cool. We do have some EV conversions. In fact, he got the interview with the guy that has the electric Jaguar E-Type conversion. That's a few videos back if you want to check that out. That's there's an actual full video on the Jaguar if you go further down the page. But this was Electric Avenue at Cruise and Grand, similar as the Rod Run, but we took 5 EV conversions over to Cruise and Grand in Escondido. This is the Jag, of which the full video is on his channel as well. And then at the end of the video, we show off his Hummer, which he just bought, or Humvee, excuse me, that he just bought.
Nice. Awesome. Super cool.
But definitely check out that Jaguar video when you get a chance.
Nice. Well, this is pretty cool. Yeah. And I'm just giving an update back home. I was out in California for a bit just to see everybody. Oh, wait, I forgot to say, when I visited out in San Francisco for a little bit, I went to go see Switch Lab. And I don't know if people realize they build that vehicle there.
I gotta reprint these. Sorry.
Yeah. So they build it right there. Which could it was pretty cool. I have some photos from that. That was a great visit. And I really appreciate Brandon having me there. and showing me around. That was really
I
a
gotta
cool
convince
thing.
educators EV education's cool. It's my job. It's the only job I have. I gotta make it look cool.
That's a great job.
And if you got enough footage, I'll edit it together and put it on this channel if you got enough footage.
Yeah, I'll
Oh,
send you
yeah.
some, Alex.
Yeah, I ripped this thing around. Oh man, it's a blast. It tears up with a Hyper 9 in there. You just punch it. You don't even need to punch it like halfway, and you're breaking it loose. That's actually Angie in there.
Yeah, that's your
and,
girl.
Yeah, my girlfriend's out there. I was like, you want to rip this thing? And she's like, yes. I was like, okay.
Well, you got 150
she
horsepower. It's like the Ariel. It's the exact same kind of thing. 150 horsepower, 1,000-pound chassis. Like, let's go.
Oh yeah, totally. Yeah. And you know, she didn't want to like kill anyone, but she does have a killer instinct. She would punch it. So she got to drive a couple of these before. This is us getting in. Let's see. I think I have one of me ripping around. I think it's this one. It's probably a good one. I was like, all right, hold on. And then we're just like, it's just like, it just flies around. It's so much fun. And you gotta turn into the skid like fast. You know,
Well,
you
yeah,
gotta let it
got
go.
that one wheel in the back. It just wants to rip. It doesn't. It
Yeah.
wants to drift.
Mm-hmm. It's like a drift machine. You know, that was pretty cool.
Is it rear wheel drive?
Yeah, just
Yeah.
Hyper 9 attached to a wheel, double sprocket. It's kind of crazy that we sell to high schoolers, but I love it.
It's awesome. And also it's very interesting because they do have like a layout where it's on like a board, and then you just, you know, you just assemble your pieces and put the board in. So it's very much education friendly, you know?
Yeah, it's all modular. You build a section, you drop it in the vehicle, and all you gotta do is connect it.
Nice. And as you know, you guys, I'm working on got my mini truck here and working on doing a drop-in board as well. And I got my board over here, and that's just a prototype right now. Make it so it's repeatable, you know, that's the idea. You got to make a repeatable conversion so the educators can keep on using it. And, you know, you don't want it to be like custom vehicle is a custom vehicle. That's a different category. You know, just like we were showing hot dog, you could spend, you know, probably $1,000 just on a mirror, you know, so, you know, just on pinstriping. So what you really want is for education, you want some learning curve, but you also want to contain it so that it's actually doable in a certain amount of time. You know, and this is something that I've experienced over the years. Building it on a bench is nothing new, but that is the way to go. And so people sometimes get away from that and they forget, but you definitely want to build it on like a module. But for a custom car, no, you want to like tuck it away and make it trick, and you want to 3D print and machine out your stuff 100%. But for education, the Switch Lab has got it right. And so hopefully a lot of people follow in their footsteps of making it modular. And then they got the carts out there, you know, from Mark Weller and whatnot. But putting it in a vehicle, that's the next move. Yeah. So anyway,
Right.
yeah.
So
Go ahead, Tom.
You got a towing with a Rivian this past weekend. A lot of people say, "Oh, EVs can't tow." So my friend this past this past month, he got a large pack. Doesn't let me share. That was weird.
Just send it.
Well, I got a bunch. It's stuff on my computer.
Okay.
Anyway, he got a dual motor, large pack, or excuse me, max pack. So it's got the biggest Rivian battery you can buy, and dual motor efficiency, which is the motors that are made in-house with Rivian. But here we are car camping. So I was basically kind of like the escort with this trailer setup. I was car camping my Model Y. We went all the way to the Grand Canyon from San Diego with and a bunch of us. It wasn't just us. A lot of us from SoCal ended up going on this trip. But here's us leaving the campground to head to the Grand Canyon. As you can see, this, you know, amazing, you know, 600 horsepower electric truck here pulling this 20-foot Airstream that he just got. And we met up. He charged, you know, basically you gotta figure out ways to, if you don't want to unhitch, you got to find ways to pull into the charger without blocking a lot of spots. We had errors at Electrify America, which we don't want to get into it. We had a bunch of side by sides. We're doing forest roads through the area, and it's kind of cool because that's an emerging market for electric as well. Those were all gas, but so here we are charging up just to get ready to head out. We had a whole bunch of us. So this is us leaving the Grand Canyon. A couple of Teslas. My friend F the Pumps, Cybertruck was on the trip. So we basically took a whole bunch of SoCal EVs from San Diego to the Grand Canyon. There's the shirt from Rivian, "Keep San Diego Adventurous Forever." That's kind of their thing. At all the spaces, they put the city name in there. But Rivian's all about, making sure you can explore nature, but we want to maintain it for future generations, so you don't want to pollute. But yeah, it was a big, we left Thursday. I literally got back from dropping off somebody in LA 20 minutes before hopping on this podcast. We went through Sedona on the way back. It was just amazing.
Look at that.
That's awesome. How did the Rivian do with towing?
Well, so my friend just posted on his Twitter his results. He was basically getting about 1.22 or 1.23. It was bouncing back and forth over 1,200 miles. He got basically 1.2 miles to the kilowatt hour while towing. It's about 5,000 pounds. So that's a Blue Eddy. So one of the issues with Rivian, though, is they don't have a 240 outlet in the bed. They have 120 outlets. So this is his Blue Eddy system, which we were plugging the camper into when we weren't at a campsite. So he's got 6 kilowatt hours of Blue Eddy power right there in the bed. And so this is actually a video of us charging the Rivian off of the Cybertruck when we got to the hotel in Sedona, because the hotel didn't have charging. So the Cybertruck had like 100 miles to spare. It was a big traffic jam in Sedona. There's like one way in and out on each side of the town. And so this hotel was we were literally right by the airport. And so, but rather than fighting traffic to get to the charger in the town, we were plugging in the Rivian here to the Cybertruck, which does have a NEMA 1450 outlet. So you can charge an EV off of the Rivian.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
That's crazy. That's so cool.
So this is a little skit we did here, and then this is going to dinner.
The Tesla chargers are far more reliable than the Electrify America. So the Tesla Cybertruck's going to get a charge.
Yeah, and so actually the majority of the charges the Rivian did on this trip was actually with the NACS adapter from A to Z EV. It's not the Tesla one. It's a third-party NACS adapter, NACS. But I think more than half of the charging sessions on this trip were with Tesla superchargers and NACS adapters, which was amazing because we tried to go to the Rivian Adventure Network, and most of them worked. But the problem is he needs the pull-through stall, and when we got to Barstow, the pull-through stall wasn't working. So they usually have 6 at the RAN. In fact, right here is the Sedona RAN. So the LEDs there are not rainbow. That's actually white showing up with the frame rate here. So that's actually a white LED, but it's coming through as rainbow because of the frame rate. So here's him charging in Sedona. So this is actually the Rivian network. This one did work, but unfortunately he had to block 2 because he tried to charge the night before detached from the trailer, but the session failed and we were at dinner, and so he got overage charges because we were like 15. Anyways, this whole thing. I'm going too deep in the thing, but it's a lot of fun to road trip with your EV buddies and see the USA with multiple, not just Teslas, but a whole bunch of different types of things. And this is Will, and he's one of the organizers of SoCal EV Fest coming up on the 8th of September.
That's awesome.
Nice.
Well, I think your complaints are valid though. Like that's the reason why people will not adopt it. Like I think the things you're complaining about need to be heard so companies can fix it. Like those are problems that anyone could face while traveling, and like if no one fixes it, no one's gonna adopt it.
So he basically got on a full charge. The Rivian could do about 200 miles towing that load, which, I mean, that's better than 100. So
that's 3 hours straight with the trailer with an EV. That's
what's the range of the max pack without a load on it?
It's around 350 miles depending on your driving style. I think some people can get about 400, almost 400 out of it. The Silverado EV, that thing gets 400 miles, but not towing. But the Silverado EV is pretty good.
It's got a 200 something kilowatt pack.
Well, the Silverado has a 180, I believe. I think you can get the 200 in the Silverado, but the Hummer EV is the one. But so basically, we were doing about every 120 to 150 miles we would stop to charge.
Good,
Right.
Carter. You got a question? Oh, okay. I thought he was.
So this is us coming into Flagstaff here. It was just gorgeous. I needed a refresh since I didn't get to go to the Pacific Northwest. I got some trees up here in Flagstaff here, and actually,
This
it's
is
funny.
awesome. Go ahead.
I actually had to level 2 charge in Flagstaff because the version 2 supercharger, which was closer for us, had over a 15-minute wait, and I only needed to charge for 5 minutes to get back to Kingman, whereas the Rivian was charging at the RAN here. So I was actually level 2 charging while the Rivian was fast charging here in Flagstaff. But we would hang out in the Airstream while charging. He's got a fridge and everything. So we got a choo-choo train. So this is us heading back to Kingman. Yeah, we did a lot of the Route 66. Here's him drafting. This is pretty funny. He's like a car length away. And this worked for a few miles, but then this guy slowed down to like 50 miles an hour. So I said, forget it. And he passed him. But it's really awesome to see this trailer just take off. He was going uphill at 80 plus miles an hour when he got tired of being stuck behind people. But
and you're going to put this on a video for us?
Yeah, the official version of this vlog recap will be on my YouTube channel sometime in the next year, hopefully. This is gonna be a long. It's gonna be a long video, but yeah. So Route 66 was a lot of fun. We got our stickers. Check out this Rivian. It's got 22-inch wheels with off-road tires. We were trying to figure out what they would do with that. So yeah, this is the RAN network in Kingman. And this is us on the way home, putting the stickers on, getting its first road trip stickers here. But just great scenery, lots of fun. So,
well, leave something to be desired for the video. So why don't you break it into chapters? And I think it's an important video because I drove across the country last summer and it was a breeze. Like I thoroughly enjoyed it, and it was with the Tesla Model Y. I knew at the time that that was the most robust network, but now there's more options. So it's a pretty cool thing.
And yeah, most of them suck.
What's say?
And most of them suck, the other options.
Yeah, the other options.
Hit or miss. Yeah, I'm thinking about doing 2 or 3 installments just to kind of break it up. This is us here in Joshua Tree this morning. We camped there last night. So
Colin's got my now. I know. Listen, I know that the messed up look is the way to go, but all right. So look at this.
It's hard being an EV man out there.
Yeah.
Well, I was car camping, so I didn't always have an access to a good brush in the morning. So
it's all good. I like the look. All right. Well, on that, let's wrap up the recording. We want to kind of keep it as short as possible so that we can. People can digest it, but this is a great group. I really appreciate Carter and Matthew being here, and Brandon coming in. We got the excitable Tom Summers. Kevin's in the house. Doug showed up, and Talik was here, even though he just got back from a trip. I really appreciate that, and cool stuff. So yeah, and I'm back in New Jersey, so that means tomorrow is my first day back at the public school teaching shop class.
And
good luck, sir. Yeah, and we got a good project for this year. We're going to do it's not a vehicle this time. It's actually a courtyard. It's going to be an urban off-grid farm.
Oh, you're doing some engineering, some public land engineering. Let's go.
Yeah, so it's like what'd you say?
Aquaponics you mentioned, right? So
aquaponics,
fish food feeding the plants.
Yep. I'm going to need some help with all this. So I'll show you the plans. And
you're doing solar?
Yeah, we're going to do solar. We're going to do, and hopefully it'll have EV charging as well, because they don't have any charging in the town I work in, which is wild.
Yeah, I need to try some of that lettuce you keep talking about.
Oh, dude, I don't know let me tell you something. If you have aquaponic lettuce, it's better than coffee, because and I know that sounds silly, but you're ripping it while it's live and eating it like a savage. And I'm telling you, it's really you feel good. So that was the most hippie thing I could ever tell you. But it's super cool. So all right, well, and Tom doesn't stay put. He's at another car show. And so
Looks like he's at an EV. Yeah, Volkswagen.
Yeah,
show.
he's just hanging out.
Yeah, Tom, I muted you because there was some background. But if you're talking, you just unmute yourself, and then you could take us out if you want. So and turn it sideways. So
I got to get my humbug back on the road so I can join you for these things. So that's the idea of selling this torque, so I can put that money and my time back into the humbug and get that thing rolling.
yeah, one project at a time. All right, well let's end the recording there. That was a good one, and thanks for everybody being here. We'll hang out for a bit, but we'll stop the recording there. See you guys next week.